In my last 5-minute growth tip, as a CEO, are you stuck in the weeds? We talked about how to get out of the weeds. We explored the 4 pillars that act as the ladder you need to climb out of day to day firefighting: alignment, execution, high performing leaders, and culture. But today, I want to talk about a framework that helps bring clarity to this approach: the Rock and Sand Model by Michael Sink. If you felt my last video hit a nerve, Sink's book, Rock and Sand Premium Edition, is a lens for seeing your schedule and your business in a new light. There's a fundamental distinction between rocks and sand. In the book, Sink builds on the classic Stephen Covey analogy, but applies it specifically to the high-stakes world of small to mid-sized companies. The sand. This is your day-to-day operations. It's the customer service calls, the production schedules, the payroll, and the endless questions from your team. It's necessary. Without sand, you don't have a business. But it's also granular and infinite. The rocks. These are the strategic moves. These are the big changes, improvements, and growth initiatives that propel the company forward. As I mentioned in my previous post, the trap for most CEOs is that they become the chief problem solver for the sand, which leaves zero room for the rocks. Sink's model argues that your job isn't just to manage the sand, it's to identify the rocks and ensure they get executed so that the sand eventually runs more efficiently on its own. There are 3 key elements to keep in mind. Let's discuss each of them. Number 1, execute the rocks to fix the sand. One of the most powerful insights from Sink's book is that the sand is often messy because the rocks haven't been dealt with. If your leadership team is constantly firefighting, being stuck in the sand, it's usually because of a lack of systems or strategic clarity, i.e., missing rocks. By prioritizing a rock, for example, implementing a results tracking system, a monthly operating forecast, or the top grading hiring system, you're literally changing the nature of your day-to-day operations, the sand. When you ensure these priorities for change get executed, you aren't adding more work to your own plate. You're building a filter that makes the sand flow smoother. This increases the efficiency of your leadership team because the rocks have finally been implemented to create the infrastructure they need to succeed without you hovering over them. Number 2, getting your leadership team aligned. In my last tip, we talked about alignment as the first pillar of getting out of the weeds. Sink takes this further by showing how the rock and sand model creates a shared language for the executive team. The model forces the CEO and their team to create shared clarity on the company's growth roadmap, the term Sink uses for a 1-page strategic plan. In the book, Sink emphasizes that alignment isn't about everyone liking each other. It's about everyone agreeing on the company's goals and priorities and on the critical rocks for the next 90 days. When your team is aligned on the company's direction and rocks, they know exactly who owns what. They understand the long-term direction and don't need to ask you for permission on minor tactical decisions. You shift from being the micromanager to the chief clarifier of direction. 3, executing more efficiently. The second pillar we covered in my last tip was execution. Sink's model provides the meeting rhythm and the predictable cadence that turns strategy into a team sport rather than a CEO burden. According to Sink, efficient execution happens when the team has visibility into issues before they become fires. By using the rock and sand framework to set quarterly targets and rocks, you create a system where the team holds each other accountable. This is the proactive flywheel I mentioned. As the team gets better at executing the rocks, the operational noise of the sand diminishes. This frees you, the CEO, to spend more and more of your time on high-level work, like better understanding your customers' needs, researching your competition, and strengthening your competitive advantage, instead of being dragged back into the weeds. So stop firefighting and start leading. If you feel like you're buried in the sand, you aren't alone, but you are stuck in a catch-22. You feel like you don't have time to build your team and organization because you're too busy being involved in their work. The rock and sand model helps you focus more on what will make the difference: the rocks. It's about building the systems that allow your team to achieve great results on their own. Are you ready to stop carrying underperforming leaders and start working more on the business and less in it? If you want to dive deeper into how to apply Michael Sink's principles to your team, let's chat. In the next 5-minute growth tip, I'll share the story of one of the clients we've worked with in this area and others. If you're a Prairie CEO who wants to grow a thriving company, team, and life more quickly, more easily, and with less stress and headache, please contact me via email or on my website. I hope you found this useful.